no. Hello, my darlings, and welcome to a new mood reading vlog. I am going to start with the tarot pull, and then everything else will be exactly what I'm in the mood for. So today I'm using my True Black Tarot. This is one of my favorite decks. It's just really cool and sort of like angelic, eerie, gothic characters. It's one of my first indie decks. I'm asking it about my month of May. What is a month going to be like for me? Oh my god. That was the month of April, guys. That was the month of April. It's fine. We've got the Five of Pentacles. People who read tarot know. You know, Five of Pentacles. It's okay. I'm sorry, I'm spinning out because yeah, if I was going to pick a card to represent April, it would have been Five of Pentacles. But read a book. This is a read a book that I'm not confident I will like. You know what? I don't know. I think I'm going to switch up that prompt. Like, why would I want to pick a book I don't think I'll like? Yeah, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. Let me think on the spot. I don't think I even want to associate it with, this is a poverty card. That's what this is. You know, you're down on your luck. You're in the gutters. You've fallen on hard times. Like I said, I'm leaving that energy behind in April, guys. You know what? I'm going to go rogue. I'm actually going to also change up my own energy. Yes, yeah, I reject that. I'm not claiming that energy. No, thank you. I want a different energy. I'm not claiming that one. That was April. Let's leave that in the past. Okay, we've got the Judgment card, which is a beautiful card. And the prompt for this is AI chooses. AI chooses my book. I've never done this before. I don't even know how it's going to go, but we're going to go to ChatGPT because that's what I believe does this stuff. I'm going to say, recommend me a book. Please have my password saved because I can't even remember the last time I went on this app. Oh, thank God, because I wouldn't have known what it was. Okay, yeah, recommend, let's go. Recommend me a book. I should probably screen record this. Let me screen record it. Of course. Okay, what am I in the mood for? All right, that's great. What am I in the mood for? I don't want to say funny. Even though like I'm in the mood for something funny, but I'm in the mood for just humor in other genres, not the humor genre. Dark and gothic, dreamy, romantic, surreal, funny, or something else. Maybe I'll go with surreal. Oh, I'll just say surprise me. I can't actually pick anything. Surprise me, bro. Surprise me. Jawbone. This is what I feel like when like tech devices are spying on you, because Jawbone was one of the contenders in my Pinterest picks for one of these vlogs. It says it's a dark, surreal, intense novel about teenage girls, horror folklore, obsession, and blurring the line between fear and desire. It's like if Heathers met the Virgin Suicides, but got tangled up with creepypasta and South American Gothic. We're going with Jawbone. It is on my TBR. So, okay, that's creepy. It's just creepy pasta. So we're going to start with Jawbone. I've also got from the library Blackwood's Blue Sky. I think that's what it's called. So I'll be reading that, and obviously anything else that comes in. Oh, audio book. I have something as well. So let me just see what that is. What's on my audio book? Libby. I really wish my library got more audiobooks in their collection. They don't purchase many audiobooks, which is a shame. Try again. Oh, I've also got a graphic novel on here because the other errands haven't come in, the physical books. So I'm going to try out Kill All Immortals by Zach Kaplan. For some reason it's frozen, so I will put a picture up here of another, or I know I have an audiobook of what I have, and I have tried a perfume, and this perfume is called Dream by The Maker. And to me, this smells like a woman who has just stepped out of a stone bathtub. She's applying cocoa butter to her body while the sun streams through her window. I said streams, didn't I? And Afterwards, she puts on some cashmere clothes and she potters barefoot along the wooden floor to sit down beneath a vase of magnolias and eat a buttery pastry for breakfast. It was very evocative of that scene. It's definitely a scene I would like to live out. It's very Sofia Coppola film in autumn. It's sensual and yummy and velvety and sweet. I love it. And I am a bit worried the silage isn't strong enough. Like, it's very soft and delicate. It doesn't really project much. So I do prefer perfumes that I can smell on me. I know that's not the point, it's for others, but I do like getting whiffs of my own scent. That sounds so gross. But yeah, I don't think it's strong enough. So we'll see how long it lasts, because if already when I've just applied it, it's already been absorbed into my skin and is a whisper of a scent, I don't think it'll last, which is really disappointing, but we'll see, because otherwise this is definitely the front runner for my new autumn scent. I'm in love with it. Yeah, I love it, but it's already like reduced so much since when I first sprayed it on, and I only sprayed it about 30 minutes ago. That sucks. It's lovely though. I will be using the shit out of that sample bottle, and I might even just get it in the future anyway, just for like a home spray day when you don't want something, you know, too strong. I don't know, it's just really comforting and it makes me feel warm and cozy and delicious. So I did really like it. Okay, I know I'm jump scaring everybody here, but I thought going forward, I would like to beef up my perfume reviews. I am very, inspired by the way the brand Imaginary Authors created stories to go with their perfumes. I kind of want to do that a bit more, like create a story based on the notes. Obviously also what smelling it evokes for me. So I want to do that going forward, but I also want to pair the perfumes with the book. Oh, my dad's asking me if I got filled on the stock market. I'll go check in a second, Daddy-o. And so I'm not going to I can't redo my first impression review of Dream the Maker, because I want to write the story like after first smelling it and what comes to mind. But I do want to give it a book pairing, what it reminds me of. So Dream the Maker, I would pair it with Glaciers by Alexis M. Smith. It's quietly intimate, nostalgic, and dreamlike. It's the feeling of memory wrapped in softness and the small pleasure of sunlight through lace. It is the comfort of cherished imperfect things, and that's why I think it works so well with Dream the Maker. Perfect pairing. So yeah, expect meteor reviews and book pairings with perfumes going forward. Today I am positive. Today I am going to go vote. I just feel like it doesn't matter who you vote for, nothing ever changes. It's probably very pessimistic, but that's how it feels, guys. It doesn't matter who you vote for. Shit stays the same. Saying that, I know it could be worse. There are actually countries out there with presidents or dictators, so to speak, whereas at least in Australia it just feels like, yeah, all the party people are the same party people. But we're going to go vote. Thanks, Blue. And I'm going to visit my mum because it's Mother's Day tomorrow, but my kids are going to their dad's on Mother's Day and they'll be going out with his mum. And I'm just going to be home alone. So instead of having to go and see my mum tomorrow, I'm going to see her today and give her her mother's gift today and get that done so I can rest, because I'm really looking forward to hibernating fully with my heat pack and my blanket and my mountain of chocolate and books. So yeah, Sunday is going to be a just read until my eyes explode kind of day. Get ahead with the reading, because I haven't. The last reading vlog you saw, that was spread over many days, because yeah, when I have poor mental health, read less. So I'm hoping to change that. I'm hoping to read my way to a happier brain. We're going to see if that works, just visit all these magical lands and get that pep back in my step, y'all, you know. But now I'm going to go eat some breakfast. I'm just going to put some hot milky tea in my body. Giving myself a hug from the inside out. That I don't know if that helped. I don't know if tea works like that for you guys, but it does. It feels like I'm hugging my insides. I'm bathing them in warm, sweet goodness, and we'll just see how the day goes. We've got some beautiful autumn weather. That has been absolutely sublime. We just summer's kiss just kind of extended into autumn, and the afternoons are just sun-drenched and warm. So I don't know what's going on with the weather in Melbourne, but I'll take it. I'm taking it with open arms, and I am bear hugging it and begging it to never leave. Never leave. This is my perfect weather. So like I said, you've got the crisp mornings and evenings, and then you've just got beautiful, sunny, pleasant afternoons, and it's just bliss. It's absolute bliss. I'll see you guys once I've read some bookie wikis.
Jenna! Oh, so trendy and stylish. Hello, beautiful girl.
Good morning, lovelies. So I did read a book last night. I read Kill All Immortals by Zach Kaplan. So this is a fantasy graphic novel where even gods want the freedom to choose. So this is a brutal world where ancient myths collide, combined with modern crime noir. Immortality is not a gift here. It's a curse that fuels power struggles, betrayals, and the weight of a family legacy that refuses to die. When Frey decides to break that cycle, what follows is a blood-soaked, high-octane rampage through a world where even gods can bleed. It is violent, mythic, and pulsing with rage. Like, seriously, so much blood. It is just slasher fest galore. I thought it was okay. It was probably just more on the violence, less on the storytelling than I would have liked, but it was interesting. The next book I'm going to pick up, I'm deciding between Blackwood's Blue Sky by Eowyn Ivey and Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. I know, romance, probably not going to like it, but this is one of those ones that also people said is fantastically written and a good story, not just a romance. So I'll give these, like 25 pages or so each and see which one I prefer to go with first. And ebook wise, I'm going to start Jawbone. Besides that, I'm going out to a cafe today, but I'm filming that for my Patreon vlog, so I'll see you the next time I've read something.
Hi, honey bunny. Oh, you're so cozy in that little nook.
Hello, gorgeous people. I keep trying sometimes to say something. That felt very awkward. I have DNF'd a lot of things. Okay, so let me just go through the DNFs. First and foremost, we have The Rooftop by Fernanda Trias, translated by Annie McDermott. I noped out of this when I found out that the chick's baby daddy was her literal daddy / granddaddy, daddy of her child. And nope. I don't want to hear about how she wants to be sexy for her literal father. So then I tried Jawbone by Monica Ojeda because this was my tarot card pick, thanks to AI recommending it to me. I found the turns of phrase in this very awkward. I don't know if it's a translation issue. The word bitch was used generously, and I just didn't like the writing style, and I found it confusing. Wasn't getting into it, DNF'd it. To replace it, I got AI to recommend me another book, and it recommended me The Employees by Olga Rawn, translated by Martin Aitken. So I'm going on to that one. Audiobook wise, I was listening to Terry Pratchett's BBC radio edition, so I did previously try to read the Discworld series. I just couldn't get into it. I thought maybe this abridged theatrical audiobook version would be better. I will say I do think it is better than the reading experience. I listened to the first one in full, which was Mort, which was about Death getting himself an apprentice and things don't really work quite to plan. And then it went on to Weird Sisters, and look, I find British humour fantastic. I love it. So I did enjoy those parts in it. It felt very twee. It felt very Monty Python-esque. It was fine. It's fine, but it's not something I'm going to give 5 stars to. And I did not like the narration in the Weird Sisters, so I decided to let that one go. I then picked up Overspill by Charlotte Paradise, and this is about the complexities of healing and complicated intimacy. You have a woman who has vaginismus and CPTSD because of a former abusive boyfriend, and she's trying to navigate dating and romance. This was done well. I realized that I'm just not in the mood to read that kind of trauma healing story right now. Not in the mood for it. If I ever am in the mood for that, that is something I would return to. I ended up finding another audiobook to listen to, and also to fill my prompt for my reading challenge in May, and that is magic. So that's either a book that has magic or has the word magic in the title. So for my Magic May prompt, I have chosen The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo, and I will talk to you about it once I've gotten going with it. I've also started reading New Animal by Ella Baxter. I'm almost done. When I'm done, I will give you my review, but I'm loving it. So I'm highly optimistic about this one in particular. And I love the cover, the black and pink. Yes. So those are the next books on the agenda: New Animal, The Familiar, and The Employees. I'm going out today, which you will see in my Booker nominated vlog, but next time you'll see me is when I've got more books to tell you about. Hello darlings, I've just had a delivery, so I thought I'd show you because it's a yeah, I remember now why I used to shave all my hair off, because yeah, I don't have naturally coiffed neat hair. I think I'm going to call my ex-boyfriend to come in and give me a fringe trim because it's getting a bit long. So remember, I did end up picking Rouge Smoking X Straight by BDK as my summer scent, so I'm very thrilled about that. And I went with Law Perfumery, and they gave me so many samples. I'm so excited. Highly recommend. If you live in Melbourne, visit Law Perfumery, okay? I'll be buying all my scents from there from now on. So they've given me, we've got Mihan Aromatics, we've got Imaginary Authors in Sundrunk. Remember I did say I wanted to try some more of their perfumes. We have this one on, doesn't say what it is. Okay, Mystery Perfume. How cute is this? Private Tea House, Chasing Scents. That is the most gorgeous little box. We've got A City on Fire by Imaginary Authors. This is cool. Another one by Imaginary Authors. Awesome. In Love with Everything. Just, they've got hundreds of perfumes. What are the chances that 3 of the samples were that? It was also their birthday. 8 years in the business, so congrats to them. Jade and Jess, congratulations. Women-run businesses, we love it. Local as well. More perfumes. Wow, you guys are gonna have so many reviews. Reviews for months and months. Oh my God. There's 8. Fikifolia, Out of Office, which I have tried. The Raconteur by Religious Guilt. Room 1015 by Electric Word, or I think actually that's the name. I've been saying it wrong. The first one is the name, no Bluebell, the name of the brand. Okay, so we've got Carthusia Mediterraneo, Tulita Vicasa, Imaginary Authors, Saint Julep. I think that's a mint one. I don't have high hopes for that one. Room 1015, Holly Rose, and Goldfield and Banks Southern Bloom. I feel like a kid at Christmas. There's so many perfumes. So many to try. As you know, I'm still looking for an autumn scent. Unfortunately, the Maker Dream, it's just too subtle. It's too subtle. I think it's a perfect home perfume, and you know, for Christmas I might treat myself to a perfume to wear around the house when I'm not going out anywhere, and I want to have a scent because I did love that. But so still looking for a autumn, possibly winter, because the Tom Ford Vanille Fatale, hella smoky. So there could be something better out there, and who knows, maybe it's one of these. So I love it when companies give you free shit. It's just something, something you weren't expecting. I was just expecting this, and I got all these. So it's turned my day around, guys. I'm happy.
Sleepy Nova. Hello, Sylvie.
Hello, dear. Hello. I always wanted to like put a face mask on and do that hello, dear thing, but I have not. Okay, guys, let me update you on what's been happening in my book life. So, The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo, which is my choice for Magic May. All right, you know what? I'm going to have to quickly go and check my trade. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, you can't pause Trading. Okay, what was I saying? Okay, yes, it was my pick for Magic May. So this was an audiobook. It is a gothic historical fantasy. I listened to 50% of it, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about it since I did invest so much time. This is set in the Inquisition era in Spain in the 16th century, and we're following Lucia. Lucia is a converso, and a converso is a Jew that has been converted to Christianity under duress, under threat of punishment, basically. And by day, she's a servant who scrubs floors in nobles' houses, and then by night, she practices forbidden magic in her mother tongue, disguised as prayers. So she's able to perform small miracles by singing songs that were sung to her. Unfortunately, one day she's caught and she attracts attention and her life ends up changing drastically. There's also a romantic subplot in this, which I wasn't feeling it, guys. I did not feel the chemistry there. So this book, the main themes would be power, identity, faith, heritage, and survival. Cool, but it was so slow and boring. It was just, I tried. I normally give audiobooks longer than I would do a physical book because we just have so few at the library. And it's nice to be able to put one on while I'm cleaning or going for a walk, you know? So I was like, oh, there's no other option. There were no other options for me to borrow. So I thought, let's just keep going. But I was just like, something exciting happened? And something kind of exciting happened. But like I said too, the romance wasn't doing it for me. So there was and I just didn't care. I didn't care. I wasn't really pulled in by Lucia as a character. I could tell this wasn't my book. So I decided to DNF that one. Audiobook wise, a new one has come in. So I have replaced that now with A Sweet Sting of Salt by Rose Sutherland. So this is a sort of Selkie folktale, which I'll talk about it more once I've actually listened to more because I've just started. I did finish The Employees by Olga Rawn. Okay, so basically on a distant ship, foreign objects awaken the dreams of both humans and machines. This is what I would probably call a literary sci-fi. It's a meditation on what it means to be human and what it means to be something not quite. So this is told, which I did like the formatting of this. This is told through a series of staff reports and memos from the crew of the 6,000 ship. The crew themselves are a mix of humans and humanoid workers, and they begin interacting with these strange objects that have been brought on board from this new planet that they have visited called New Discovery. And these objects, which I believe that were based on items the author saw in a modern museum or gallery. These objects are unsettling, beautiful, and impossible to understand. And seriously, I still don't understand what these objects are. I don't understand. I still don't understand them myself. But they start altering the crew's memories, desires, and sense of self. They start questioning if there's more to being human than their productivity as employees. There's a lot of existential philosophy going on in this book in an eerie kind of way. The author's prose is very sparse and vague. It's got a fragmented structure, which I guess is maybe inviting the readers to sort of piece together the narrative of the story, like they're an investigator putting all the puzzle pieces together. For me, it felt more like waking up really groggily and that moment where you're trying to figure out where the fuck you are and what's going on. And I never got out of it. I never got out of that groggy liminal between waking and alert state in regards to piecing this book into something that made sense to me. There's a tension running through it between the organic life, the humans, and the artificial intelligence, the humanoids. And that is mostly explored through the mood, through introspection, and just this very creeping, eerie, uncanniness that is pervasive in the novel. It is eerie, it's meditative, it's melancholic. To me, it felt like Jenny Haval in space. Okay, it's a very similar kind of nonsensical weirdness. And just like Zero Gravity, I didn't feel like this book had any weight. It was confusing and lifeless to me. It was quirky. It was intriguing because you're not really sure what's going on and how it's going to wrap up and conclude. And look, the ending was kind of interesting. But the experience of it for me was, I wouldn't even say mediocre. I didn't really enjoy the reading experience of it. I didn't feel like the payoff was worth the effort of, you know, trying to make lucid the confusing along the way. So wasn't for me, but you know, to each their own. I will give my read it if you like. I've got some interesting bits in this for my read it if you like. I always like to pull very obscure niche fragments from the books when I'm doing the read it if you like, you know, like stuff that you have to be paying attention to notice. And like I said, that is not just a very common generic thing. This one had a few interesting ones. So yeah, unfortunately that wasn't for me. I've started reading New Animal by Ella Baxter. Like I said, I am enjoying that. I'm not going to talk about it until I've completely finished the book. I'll be finishing that today. I will say it has included some things that I'm not loving as much. So I no longer think this will be a 5-star, but it's still, I love her writing. Just, it does something for me. I'm also picking up a book based on Ben Read's Good Challenge, and it is for June. A Shame, I think, was the title. It's just a book that's been on your TBR the longest, and for me that is The Specimen by Jama Fixen, and this has been on my TBR for 7 months. So books don't really stay on my TBR for long. I am always very mindful to sort by oldest added to make sure books aren't languishing. You know, I would be very shocked if a book remained on my TBR for more than a year without me reading it. Like I said, even though this is a virtual bookshelf, just like in my real life, things have to be touched and read. They cannot be ignored and left to gather dust. Okay, I don't want anything neglected on my watch. So that one, yeah, 7 months, that's been on my to read list. I believe it's a historical gothic horror, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, another email. So those are the books that are currently on the agenda. New Animal by Ella Baxter, The Specimen by Jama Fixen, and A Sweet Sting of Salt Rose by Rose Sutherland. I've also got to head to the library tomorrow, so I might see what's coming if there's anything exciting there. I do like to have at least 5 books for these mood reading vlogs read in full before going on to the next one. So yeah, I'll see you guys next time I've read something.
Hey Munchkin. Yep, we still got construction noise. This is gonna last for 2 years.
Okay, so this is the dish my Persian friend has made for me this week. It's chicken with barberries. Yum, yum, yum. All right, Vegemite. So I finished reading New Animal by Ella Baxter, which, giving Zach a shout out because he reminded me of it. I totally forgot it was on my TBR and we were talking about books and he mentioned New Animal as a better option than All Fours by Miranda July, and I do 100% agree with that. Death always comes too soon. We have Amelia, and Amelia is a cosmetician at her family's funeral parlor, and she handles the aesthetics of death. So she's responsible for helping the deceased to look their best on their final viewing. However, she is struggling with the messiness of life. And then a sudden loss shatters her carefully compartmentalized world, and Amelia plunges haphazardly into the extremes of desire and BDSM subcultures in the search for meaning, connection, or at the very least, a distraction from her pain and grief. This book is mordantly funny. It's oddly hopeful and a meditation on embodiment, vulnerability, and the absurdity of trying to move on. This had darkly funny explorations of grief, sexuality, and the raw edges of healing. It's honest and quietly hopeful. I think that grief was portrayed phenomenally in this. I shed so many tears. I was sobbing. I'm probably putting a video in here of me being wrecked emotionally in bed while reading it. I loved that. I ate that up. It was fantastic, even though it left me dehydrated from the fluid loss, and the writing was also my jam. If it was those things alone, this would have been a 5-star book. However, for me, unfortunately, what knocked it down was the representation of the kink community in this book, which I personally felt was quite negative and handled a little disrespectfully. I think the kink community already gets a lot of shit and flack and negative representation, and this did not help with that. The main component of the kink community is consent, informed consent, and that was not being shown in here. So if that part had been taken out, which I don't think it was entirely necessary, yes, I guess it was used as the vehicle to show her complete spiraling and flailing and desperation to run away from what she was feeling by drowning in something else. But yeah, like I said, it left a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth, just the way it was shown. So even despite that, I still love this book. I love the cover. Very happy with that read. And then we're going to wait for the garbage trucks to head on through. So I am still listening to A Sweet Sting of Salt on audio, and I will be picking up The Specimen by Jema Fixen. And if I DNF any of those, I will be picking up The Grandmother book by Frederick Buckman. I can't remember the full title, but that's a book I have in my physical collection, and I do want to start getting through the ones that I decide to keep rather than kick. So those are probably the final 3 books for this vlog. We shall see how it goes, but I'm heading off to the doctor's today, which you would have seen in my short books reading vlog. Fingers crossed it all goes swimmingly, and I will see you guys once I've read some more. Oh no, I actually have an announcement. So good news, it's good news. You might recall that YouTube spanked me and put me on a 3-month demonetization because I got another truck coming through. Yeah, hold on. Yes, as I was saying, they suspended me because they said that my channel was sexually explicit and its purpose was to induce sexual gratification in the viewers. So they demonetized me. I still believe they do still run ads regardless of whether they pay you a cut. They still do that. But they did say after 3 months and cleaning up my channel, I could reapply for monetization. So what I did was I moved my more saucy stuff like Kinky Corner, unfortunately, to Patreon. And I did try to tone down the language a bit, like censor certain words and see if that held up. And it did. And I have been readmitted into the monetization program. That being said, I'm definitely not going to monetize. I will not be monetizing anything that I do on Patreon because I do let myself be a little less guarded and free over there. So I'm hoping that if you don't monetize the videos, that you're less likely to get into trouble if there's any saucy content. I always did say these videos were not for children. I always did click in the little section area. This contains adult language, or this contains, topics of a sexually explicit nature. So I was always being very careful to select what I thought was appropriate. Some of my videos ended up being 18 plus restricted because of that. Mostly they get real weird with it vlogs, but still that wasn't enough and I got suspended. So yeah, we'll see how we go going forward. I'm continuing on my Patreon, keeping the stuff over there that's over there, and being selective in which videos I choose to monetize, because I just feel like maybe that will be helpful in avoiding this reoccurring in the future, because I know that I can be a little bit provocative, I guess, for YouTube's tastes. But yeah, excited to make a few coins again and not be shadow banned. We'll see what happens, but I thought I'd update you guys. So the doctor ran over an hour late. So by the time we finished our appointment, the blood clinic here, they closed. So they said, I need to go. You know what, actually I'm just going to get it done tomorrow. I'm done. They're like, you can drive to another clinic, yada yada. I'm just so upset. Over and out. It's like, guys, what the call people too, say, hey, doctor's running an hour late today, so I'm not just sitting there. But anyway, I'm not going to get the bloods done today. I'll go and get it done tomorrow. And I'm just going to go to I don't have time now either to go to a cafe because I have to pick the kids up from school. So I don't even think I've got time to go to the library, but my books are overdue. I might be able to squeeze that in. We'll see. Bro. Boss cat. Oh yeah. No, it's not you, Blue. You're not the boss. It's a Nova. Yeah. So this was for a party. Hello, my darlings. I'm here to update you on the final books of this reading vlog. I'm just ringing up my notes so I do not forget to say anything. Oh, I realized that I didn't mention that the adult playdate my mom set me up on with the woman whom I went to the same school with. She's lovely, she's gorgeous, intelligent, sweet. I did say, if you ever want to grab brunch or something, I'm down, but she's pretty busy with her, you know, partner and moving house and things, but I would absolutely actually be open to a friendship. So my mum was onto something. She was right. Okay. I'll give her props where props are due. She thought that we would get along well as adults, and that is bang on the money. So I should have listened to my mama for that one. And I realized I said, oh, I'm writing stories for the perfumes. I don't mean an actual story like imaginary authors do. I just meant I will actually talk about the notes in the perfume in a bit of a flowery kind of way, and then tell you my initial picture in my head of what I see when I first smell something. In case people are like, Chanel, these aren't stories, you're just talking about notes. I know. I used the wrong words to get what I was saying, but I thought I would actually tell you what notes are in the perfume instead of just what it conjures up for me. So we're going to start with, actually I'm going to leave this one to last. We're going to start with Confessions by Kane Minato. I have to put my prescription eyes on so I can actually say, revenge is a dish best served cold in front of the whole class. This is a book of consequences with a side of psychological devastation. It starts with a teacher telling her students that she knows that 2 of them murdered her young daughter, and that she's already set her plan for revenge in motion. Everyone is shooketh, including the reader. The novel unravels in alternating POVs, and trust me, every single person in this book desperately needs therapy, a hug, and possibly an intervention. Instead, what do they get? More trauma. It's like the movie Mean Girls horrifically merged with Death Note. The plot twists keep on coming, just like back pain in middle age. You will question everything. Who's good? Who's bad? And what is an appropriate consequence. By the end, you're going to be clutching your pearls at the final reveal. Morality in this book? Grey. Sanity? Not much. Satisfaction? 100% guaranteed. This is the book that I was reading because my Patreon member wanted to buddy read it with me. It is not one I would have picked up because it does contain children on children violence, and that is hard to stomach. So please, if you're thinking of picking this up, check the trigger warnings. The book has very long chapters because each character's POV is given a segment, so it doesn't end until that character's POV ends. Some of them are told in an epistolary format, but otherwise it's very exposition heavy because every character is just basically telling you their story. So this is what happened. And yet it was still entertaining to read. I hate to use the word entertaining because it's such dark topic matter, but it was skillfully executed. There were some characters' POVs I don't feel were entirely necessary, but layer upon layer was revealed with each POV you got. You got another piece of the bigger picture. At the end of the day, the truest victim in this was Minama. I think that was her name, the little girl who was killed by other children. And that, yeah. So it's not going to be a happy ending book because she is dead. There is no bringing her back, no matter how much justice is meted out. I don't think there will ever be a balance for it. But yeah, in this book, it's everyone's a victim, everyone's a perpetrator, those kind of vibes. And then I picked up, sorry, my voice is not the best today. I picked up Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. I'm looking for a man in finance, trust fund, 6'5", prosthetic limb. So we start with the female protagonist, Winifred or Win. Win is fiercely independent, sharp-tongued, and rocking a limb difference that affects her hand. Following a bad relationship, she does her best to avoid emotional intimacy at all costs and prides herself on her self-reliance. And then we have Beau. And Beau is a finance analyst with mad golden retriever energy, a big dick, a prosthetic leg, and he makes owning extensive comic book collections sexy. They meet one night at a Halloween party and they have one gloriously unplanned night of pirate sex, and ahoy matey, she gets knocked up and suddenly there's a new pirate bean on deck. Win believes she can solo this, but Ben, being the cinnamon roll that he is, wants to support her as much as he and his meaty bank account can. Together, they must navigate all the trials and tribulations of pregnancy, D&D campaigns, and the biggest challenge of all, catching feelings. The story has good banter, great sex, very nice, and fantastic disability rep. They are my kind of people. Funny, flawed, and horny AF. The book is a lol fest for me, but it also has depth because they are navigating their co-parenting and their evolving relationship. The book explores themes of vulnerability, trust, the complexities of love, redefining strength as allowing others in, and the beauty of embracing one's imperfections. Overall, I felt like the book really was giving cozy autumn energy. It's a slow burn romance where love feels like safety and being seen. And even though this book features tropes that I hate in romance novels, like one night stands, immediate sex, pregnancy, and friends to lovers in a way, somehow this author made it work. She made it work. I think mostly it's because I did find this funny and I liked the humor. And that's a winning ticket in my books. Also, the relationship itself is wonderful and wholesome. And I really feel like this book unlocked a new who's taking care of you kink for me. I'd say if you are a, what's the word? I can do it all by myself kind of girly. I don't need no man. This might make you change your mind. I loved it. It was a 5-star read for me. I know. Yeah, because it's a perfect romance. So look, please keep in mind with my 5 stars too, it's based on like the genre for the type of book that it is. This is a perfect contemporary romance, even with tropes I normally can't stand. And I was rooting for them and their little unplanned family and their happiness. And it had me smiling. When chapter 4 opens with Bo's dick is huge, I laughed out loud. And my kid said, "Why are you laughing?" And I could not tell her. But yeah, even bigger than his dick is his heart. And that's the kind of man we all stan. So I love it. It's real, it feels messy, but it feels hopeful and like a modern day fairy tale. I know that I said I was reading this as well, but this vlog has gone on for too long. It's so long in the tooth. So we're going to save Mr. Buckman and the granny and her granddaughter for next month's mood reading vlog. Because yes, I am trying to shrink these vlogs down, yap less, just talk about the books more. Oh, I will mention though, obviously we went out last night to see Death of a Unicorn. I may have inadvertently, accidentally, not on purpose, caused my 13-and-a-half-year-old some trauma. I did tell her it was violent, it's MA, and I did show her the trailer and I did tell her there would be a lot of blood, and she's like, "Yeah man, I can handle it." No, it ain't no thing. It was a thing. So that is the first like parenting fail I have had in terms of the content I allow my daughter to watch. I will be more careful in the future. Yeah, look, it's only because she loves Jenna Ortega, and you know, as a teenage girl, you always get your teenage girl crushes. In her case, completely platonic, but that's who she admires and wants to emulate. And she has been incredibly depressed and has not left the house in 2 weeks. So this was a bait on a hook that she took, and I think if I waited out the benefit of leaving the house and having some mother-daughter bonding time, and we took some photos at a photo booth, and I got her some stuff at Mecca, and you know, we did enjoy the movie. It was a good movie, I forgot to mention. I loved it. I would give it a 4.5 out of 5. It's an A24 film, so it's beautiful and quirky and dark and funny, and I have never been a unicorn girl really, because I'm not a horse girl, but I am now. Those unicorns rule. They absolutely rule. It was distressing for most of the film because you're not entirely sure if they're going to be okay, but I don't want to spoil it, but I'm happy with how the movie turned out, and I think it was fair, and would recommend the movie. So yeah, fun times. We had a great day. And for me, Yochi is all about the toppings. Like, there is very little frozen yogurt in there. It is all about those sauces, those add-ons for me. It was so good though. Oh my God, it was so delicious. And I think that's why I'm a bit worse for wear today, throat-wise, because I didn't realize that not all of the frozen yogurts were gluten-free. I just would have thought besides cookies and cream, the rest would be gluten-free. And then I'd eaten it and we were leaving and I noticed that only some of them had the big GF symbol next to them. So I did inadvertently eat gluten. That's okay. Just get back on the gluten-free wagon again. But that's everything. I'm going to wrap up the books for you now in order of the least enjoyed to most enjoyed. We have The Employees by Olga Rawn, and read this if you like reverse strap-ons, oak moss, and wanting to be rebooted. The Specimen by Jama Fixon. Read this if you like witch hazel, heartbeats, and keeping trophies. Kill All Immortals by Zach Kaplan. Read this if you like Succession, John Wick, Immortal Vikings, and Family Feuds. Confessions by Kanae Minato. Read this if you like drinking milk, snuggly bunnies, and explosive reveals. New Animal by Ella Baxter. Read this if you like marzipan fruit, shells, and Shaka Khan. And my favorite read for this reading blog was Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. Read this if you like peg legs, hook hands, and bathtubs. So those were all my reads. I've already gotten a 5-star read for June. Wunderbar. Until next time, stay wild, star child.